Flamingo Land may not be the best theme park in the UK, but they made a great investment with Sick. Not only is the ride eye-catching and impressive, but it also acts as the crown jewel in Flamingo Land's roller coaster collection. The ride is the first thing you see when you enter the park. I know a few people complained about the choice of colour, and whilst I would have preferred something a bit more unique, the black and grey combination does look smart and modern. And that's especially true when you compare Sick to some of the other attractions at Flamingo Land. The entrance to Sick is just behind Velocity, and there's a cool sign and pathway leading towards the coaster from one end of the entrance plaza. Now, because the ride is sponsored by Sick Silk, there is a shop which you have to go through before and after each ride. I'm not the biggest fan of sponsorships on roller coasters. I feel as if they take away from your experience. However, I'm not too bothered by the sponsorship on Sick, mainly because, well, let's be honest, after COVID, Flamingo Land probably needed that extra boost of cash to get this thing open in the first place. Leaving the shop, you enter the queue, and I'm happy to report that there's a single rider option for Sick. It made lapping this coaster so much easier. I will be honest in saying that the main queue is really wide, making it quite easy for queue jumpers. But if anything, the wide paths did allow me to film the ride without getting in other people's way. The queue will eventually enter the station building, and as you do so, you'll start to hear dance music, which is definitely not the themed audio I'm used to, but the ride pulls off the club atmosphere decently well, as there's smoke effects, banners, and some atmospheric lighting in the station. It's pretty cool and I'm a fan of it. Queuing inside that area wasn't boring at all, despite the fact that Sick only has one train, so it will have slower operations compared to some of the other major theme parks in the country. In a few years, it wouldn't surprise me if Flamingo Land purchased a second train just to get more people on the ride. Just like most coasters in Europe, there's places to store your loose articles on the other side of the train. Once you're seated and you're ready to go, you start your ascent up the really quick cable lift hill. As with most coasters, you get a nice view before you go into that first drop, which is a lot steeper than Colossus's first drop at Thorpe Park. For those who don't know, Sick and Colossus are basically the same roller coaster. The only difference is that Sick is a newer version with a few tweaks here and there. But anyway, cresting over the top of the lift hill, you get a very weak moment of airtime before you twist down into some nice positive G-forces at the bottom. After that great start is an intense vertical loop, which can be seen from the queue line, and yeah, it's an impressive part of the ride. Then comes an airtime hill that, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst airtime hill out there, but I didn't really feel myself getting much airtime, no matter where I was sitting in the train. I don't know, it may just be me. You then descend down a small tunnel which is absolutely filled to the brim with steam. Believe me, if you're on that front row, you get blasted, which can be really refreshing on a hot summer's day. The next element is a cobra roll. It's a bit jolty, but provides a good pull in the back row. After another tunnel, you enter two enjoyable corkscrews, and they're taken at a much faster pace compared to the ones on Colossus, so they provide some great moments of intensity. For these elements, the front row was much better than the back. But get this, you then go into not one, not two, not three, but 4 Heartline rolls, and you get so much hang time. I can see this string of elements being a bit too much for some of the general public, but either way, you finish the coaster with a cool fountain and another roll into the brake run. Overall, the coaster is an intense ride, with very little airtime, which is to be expected seeing as you go upside down 10 times. This is crazy to think about, seeing as the UK has 3 roller coasters with 10 or more inversions. One of the best things about Sick is its restraints. Thankfully, Sick has lap bars, making it way more enjoyable than Colossus. I will say that the lap bars aren't as comfortable as the ones on Icon, or presumably the newer Intamin ones either, but they're much better than the bulky shoulder restraints on older versions of this ride. The best moments on this coaster for me have got to be that drop and the final rolls. However, the coaster experience isn't perfect. Sick unfortunately suffers from a strong rattle, no matter where you're sitting. In the front it's not nearly as bad, and that's why I recommend the front row on this coaster. You don't get the rattle, and you get some pretty epic views, especially of those final rolls. Nonetheless, you may be wondering how well does Sick compare to other UK roller coasters? Well, I'd say it's better than Wicker Man as a roller coaster experience, but not as good as Stealth. This places it in my number 6 for the UK and 15th in my overall rankings. Sick is a fantastic investment for Flamingo Land, and hopefully we can see more large-scale roller coasters at this park in the future. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.